Our President Muhammad Buhari has repeatedly, at various times, emphasized the fact that he wanted the coming elections to be based on issue-based elections, and he's going to assure that we have a free and fair election come 2023. As we progress towards this period, many have complained or have frowned on the prevalence of fake news across board for all the various parties involved. Recently, a TV news station had to publicly apologize for broadcasting a wrong information about one of the candidates, particularly about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, concerning some letter that came from the U.S. saying that he was convicted or accused of $460,000. Of course, they now said that there was a letter from INEC officially saying that he was going to be investigated. Now, INEC has since said that was fake, and the station has apologized. But that was on one end. The conversation really is, how do we ensure the sanctity of the electoral process? How do we ensure that going forward, both media and all parties involved, that the people, the electorate especially, are not swayed by various fake news that is prevalent in our social media or in even our traditional media? What are your thoughts on what we can do? We're not focusing on this matter. We're focusing generally on every fake news. We've had a few that have come across other candidates. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. The conversation really is about how do we ensure that these elections are issue-based and we're not swayed by the sentiments of all various allegations, be it true or not true. I want to start.
Okay, yes. I was just thinking that fake news has now become the new political thugs. You know, there used to be a time all we would talk about and we keep preaching is political thugs, people who would go and physically dismantle the process of elections. But now it's now on social media. We have seen it happen in, countries. We've had, I think during the Trump versus Hillary Clinton elections, we heard how a lot had to do with some of the information that was going on social media, fake news that had been sent over and over again. And so I feel that this should just teach us, for those of us that are going to experience it now, especially traditional media, as you say, because many people would hear something on social media and say, I'm not going to believe it until it's confirmed on TV, until it's confirmed on radio, or it's confirmed by a particular journalist. And so we have to be careful that we're not seen to be part of the bandwagon of people who do not confirm news or confirm stories. There is a process before you can even say a story on TV, before you can read it as news. So are we saying that we're not following that process anymore? Have we become lazy? Are we just swayed by, sentiments here and there? So it's important for our candidates, for the opposition, for, as you said, the sanctity of the whole process. Let Nigerians understand who exactly they are voting for and the reasons why, what their actual flaws are and what their actual strengths are. And it is not for any particular party, but for all parties in general and for the good of our nation going forward.
So journalism is seen as the fourth estate. And in that, you have the government, you have the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, and then you have the press. And the idea of the press is their job is to inform and educate the public while simultaneously acting as a watchdog for elected officials. It is essential that anyone within this space, we must always verify what we're saying as true. Now, the group of people that will be called the fourth estate has expanded over time. We now have the traditional media, we have the social media. Everybody that has a phone now can record something and put their voice over it like a reporter. We now have reporters who have no idea of the responsibility that they should carry. And we have a lot of misinformation going on. People that have lots of Twitter followers have become journalists. They've become media houses. And we need to remind ourselves, going towards election, what a huge responsibility that influence is and how we must be careful on how we use it. So, are we informing people of what we know is the truth, or we're informing people of what we want to use to sensationalize people. What we feel is hot and trending and will get a lot of retweets, as opposed to what is the real fact of the story. We had this issue, I think, last election or 2015, where there was a lot of crisis in the north, and that was because somebody just posted something and it just went, everybody said, it just like wildfire. And then we found out there was no truth to it. And it was just on social media, people were retweeting it, and that happens a lot. So it's important that we understand as individuals that it's not about you getting followers or you being the most popular platform per time, but the number of lives that will get impacted by one wrong message or one lie that you decide to post because you feel it is going to make you relevant.
Let me come to Nima on this because, you know, one of the most painful part of this job that we do is that people don't often see the objectivity in our conversations, regardless of how objective we try to be. You know, they say, oh, it's not that station, they are this. You know, they even judge you before they even know what you do.
Of course.
But there's another station, there are other stations that they outrightly
put it in your face.
They put in your face and nobody judges them. So is it fair? Is media really being fair to all the candidates equally? Are they being treated, is the fourth estate fair, free and fair in their objectivity across the board for all these various candidates, do you think?
So it doesn't matter whether people outside think that, you know, the fourth estate is free and fair to people. But there's a standard of the ethics of the profession that they must uphold, which is to ensure that even when they're putting out facts, they are not deliberately being divisive as an establishment. So even when we sit here and we see certain areas or certain sensitive topics and think, no, this would incite, and let's just leave it. And some people are sitting in their houses and they're on their keypads and typing and saying,
you
look
must
at
talk
them.
about it.
You must talk about it. And when we know how incisive, how sensitive that particular season, timing, and topic is,
Yes.
when we are following the ethics of the profession as NBC have continued to drum it into our ears, and we continue to be guided by those standards, that's what is most important. I don't really care how many people can type, if you like, tag me. Because they do it all the time. You come, and social media for me for a long, since before the fire, has become something that doesn't guide what I say. I only say what I can be responsible for, so that if something must kill a man, let it be something the man shares very well. Let it be entirely my decision, and the consequence of it, something I can live with. So the profession is guided by ethics. The profession is well guided. We have the Union of Journalists, we have the NBC codes, we have the Guild of Editors, all of those that, you know, continue to regulate different aspects of journalism. And so when we sit here and we cannot be on somebody's disposition, be checking topic just because it is okay when you're on social media to do things on people's disposition, call out people whether you have facts or not, put fake news out there whether you like it or not, use a fake name and fake page and all that. But when you have names, offices, address, you're traceable, and like we are on this show, we have to be more responsible than that.
There's a part of this conversation that I'd like us to touch on. The fact that many people feel the responsibility to Nigerians. See, I know the pulse of Nigerians. I know the Nigerians don't like this person. And I want to feel that. I don't want to educate them otherwise. I don't want to say, okay, this is what this person or these people are about. But because everybody's like, crucify him. Yes, let's join the bandwagon because then they'll like us. Because the numbers today, journalism today is about numbers. How many followers do you have? How many people are looking at you? That's how you get popular because the money comes to those who are most popular. You say, oh, Mr. John's TV station is now the most watched. Why is it most watched? Because they feel they reiterate the pulse of Nigerians and they feed them what they want to hear. Oh, they hate this person. Oh, yes, let us hate them together. So yes, we are behind you. It's not about objectively understanding what these people offer, don't you think?
Of course. And you know what? A lot of times when we even sit here and we express our various views, and someone would maybe express a view that is unpopular, and people will call her like, what was she even thinking? How could she have said that? I'm like, you do not understand the courage and bravery it took for that person to be the dissenting voice. So it's easy. It's easy journalism, it's easy social mediaism, it's easy to... we not adults are human beings. We know what to say, how to say it, when to say it, that will get us excited. But it takes someone who, you know, it takes someone who is brave and courageous and, you know, very certain of who they are and their opinions, to say, I understand what a lot of people are saying, and this is their opinion, but this is my opinion. This is what I believe in. This is how, and this is, and I would say it without any fear of anything, and I will stand by it, as you said, you know, you will chest it. And right now, it just seems that it's easier to be on the bandwagon. And many people would rather have that. Would rather have the followership, the numbers, the popularity, than to stand for exactly what we believe in our homes.
Once you have that following, once when the dust settles, we're still discussing ethics in journalism. I mean, I took a course, and this conversation is never ending. And I know that it's something that's ongoing. Many media houses across the world have this debate. Can media really be true to the people? Can media be ethical to the point where it's about the people, the journalism, and not the source? So, for example, many would say abroad, you know, we saw how every media house has somewhat a kind of leaning towards a political party. We saw how, was it CNN that was supporting, it was clear that they were almost supporting one candidate, and that stage Fox News was supporting another candidate during the past elections. I mean, it was clear internationally that many stations even were created specifically to express news for a certain community. So Al Jazeera came also when there was a need to convey news from the Middle East objectively, not based on what the West was creating news to be. So various media stations are created for certain objectives. But today, bringing it back home, can our media truly be objective? That's the conversation. Let me come to you, Tope.
So I watched an interview of someone, and the man was talking about how polarized American media has become, and how two people can live in the same city, experience the same economical hardship, insecurity challenges, inflation, and they are consuming two completely different media and have two completely different opinions of the world based on the media they are consuming. And the truth is, we are all shaped by what we watch and hear. It influences how we think, how we see the world. If I keep saying this cup is white, 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 and somebody comes and keeps telling me this cup is brown, 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 it is really brown, it is really brown, it is really brown. Guess what? After a few months of consuming the brown, I'll start saying that this cup is brown, no? And that is the power of media. And we're seeing it in our faces every day, where we no longer care about what is truth or what is the fact, but what opinions come forth. And I love what I get to do here on the show. Why I love it is I am allowed to express my bias because I know someone else on this show would express an opposing bias to mine. And this show gives people the the opportunity to hear different points of view. We all cannot be on the same page, and we're not meant to be on the same page. And that is what is juicy about, that's what is unique about this show. And sometimes people want to box us into one space. They want everybody here to say exactly one thing because it appeals to you. It's not meant to be. The platform of what we do is to ensure that you hear every shade of truth, you look through your own life and experience, and you find the one that connects with you. And it's important we allow that thrive, especially as we're going into elections. We mustn't start thinking, we mustn't colorize crime. Absolutely. We mustn't really ethnicize crime. We mustn't ethnicize kidnapping and corruption, because we are all feeling it everywhere in every corner of the country.
Let me take this call from Hassan from Lekki. Good morning, are you there?
Good morning, everybody.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
The fear of Tinubu is the beginning of their endless, useless wisdom, PGP. All this is about Tinubu, and Tinubu is a moving train. You either give way or it crushes you. Look, only very few people knew that lies come out of the media. We knew it's part of the dysfunction of the media to narcotize, to privatize.
Hello, Hassan. Hello? Oh, we lost that. So, okay, so I want this conversation. I'll come to you, Nima. I want this conversation to be very real. I want Nigerians to call in and express themselves and expectations from the media. Let me come to you.
So I wanted to talk about, Tope was talking about pre-concluded conclusions when you're watching news. So a viewer is watching and they want to hear that news a certain way. Whether you are reporting facts or not, you better be reporting it the way they want to hear it. And that's where the problem is. It's either you want to consume what is fact, or you want to consume what your bias is. So you're watching the show and some group of people have been attacked in a certain area, and you think, no, it's this tribe against this tribe. It must be taken that way when you talked about ethnicizing crime.
Yeah.
So crime has happened, and we've reported it as it happened. You say, no, it's because Buhari is in government. That's why you cannot say it's Fulani people that attacked people. Whereas to say that would be to incite a group against another.
That is not based on facts.
That is the most irresponsible way to deliver that fact, which is, of course, that a crime has happened. Whether two tribes are fighting and there are reprisals, it's because somebody was irresponsible in reporting what happened, even if it is in the most local form of it. So let's assume this happened in Benue. And somebody just went, oh, all of us farmers, we've lost all of our farm products because these Fulani herders came here. And the Fulani herders are sitting there and wondering, who just stole our cow? Do you know how much the value of, do you know what it is to raise one cow? Do you know how many years it is to raise one cow? Do you know that's my entire investment?
And both sides should be heard.
You then keep hearing reprisals, people going back and forth, just because one person was irresponsible in saying, a crime has happened, let's find the criminals, let's report it. And the most important is that the security agents do the needful to nip that particular crime in the bud. So it's not giving ethnic colorization.
When the news concerning this U.S. thing that happened with the candidate of the APC came out, when it came out in the night, in the morning, we started getting tags. People saying, you guys must take this story. And we didn't respond. And the reason why we didn't respond was because we were waiting for the other side, waiting for them to officially respond to it. So we now have an idea exactly what both sides. So we got this report, what's their party saying about it. So when we're having a conversation, it's more of a robust conversation. But many people don't wait for that. They jump bandwagon because they feel that's what everybody wants to hear. And they will come on it. So whose responsibility is it to ensure that media houses and also citizen journalists...
But more, the facts are out.
We try, the facts are out.
It's the conclusion that is worrying. Yes. So this is what you feel about that news. You want somebody to air it or give you the platform to cause, use the information.
Let me take Babatunde, Alhaji Babatunde. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, this is not Alhaji Babatunde. This is Alhaji Yakub.
Oh, yeah, Alhaji. Sorry about that. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Morayo, and then every one of you in the studio. Good morning, Mama, Baby, Sister Nima. My greetings to you, and then Obi. You see, I want everyone in this country. I stand to be corrected. So tell me the best station ever in this country. For me, personal opinion, TVC stand out. Especially your few make TVC stand out. Journalistic angles make it TVC stand out. You know why? This is the only program I've ever seen, and then including journalist angles, that will give him ordinary citizens to say whatever he or she wants to say. You see, there's some quote-unquote television station in this country which I wouldn't like to mention their name. They always jump into conclusions, beginning to trash Nigerians' lives. At the end of the day, after the damaging has been done with fake news, they will now come up and say, we are sorry, we apologize, we do this. Who does that? Who does that? As a TVC station, as a television station in this country that's regulated, you need to...
Thank you, Akuba. I still have Alhaji Babatunde still holding still. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Alhaji, you're live. Go ahead.
You. I can hear.
Alhaji.
Okay. Are you still with me? I thought
I'm hearing you for the first time. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I said that it's so disappointing to hear the issue of fake news from top-level television stations. I can't hear you because my telly is off, you know. Okay. But the issue is that sometimes it's not just enough to say, okay, after you say something that is not correct about somebody, you later come out to apologize. It's good to apologize, and you can all make mistakes. There's no doubt about it. But sometimes, deliberately, somebody can be very serious, say something that is wrong about you, and then knowing fully well that it's not everybody that had it initially that will later come and hear my apology. You know? So that's why some of us are saying, oh, please, journalists, especially at top level like this, because when you hear from BBC, channels, and the other stations, you tend to say, this is like to be true. So that is the issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Babatunde. So I think it's a good thing that the station apologized. I mean, I think that also gives respect.
Yes.
It shows that the level at which they are functioning is at the point where they are above. They're not above the law, and they feel that it's right for them to apologize. So I think that was actually honorable for them to do. However, our conversation is not about them.
Yes.
Our conversation is more about Nigerians, citizen journalism.
Yes.
The fact that we consume any and everything that only appeals to our subconscious. Whatever it is our heart wants is what we're looking for.
That's
so
what
that's, we don't want to focus our conversation on that station. It's just one of it. But there are so many fake news out there that people are consuming.
Yeah.
And it's not accurate. And that's why they keep
Yeah.
saying they want this election to be issue-based. Now, it's important for all these candidates to come out and tell us exactly what they want to do. So that people know for real what you're doing and have a decision to able to decide who they want to vote for.
Beyond that, you know, we're always talking about social media journalists. You know, everybody now records a video as they're recording. This is Akowojo. The water has covered the roof. Everybody is floating. The government did not drain anything. And now you can see what bad government has brought about. Then you find that it's not Akowojo. That is actually a video from 3 years ago. And the flooding was in somewhere in another part of Nigeria. And we need to, and then you would have seen what would have happened is that video would have gone viral. Everybody will be pushing it from one WhatsApp group to another WhatsApp group, spreading a message that has no verifiable, like you cannot verify it and it's not true. We need to stop this. It's not compulsory that when you record that video, you must post it and put a voiceover of conclusion. They are beating the woman. That woman is dying. She has died, and the woman did not die. But you have said the woman died.
Exactly.
You know?
Okay.
So I think that it's important that citizens also take responsibility to verify what they're posting before they post it outside.
So
and you resharing, reshare responsibly.
Can I blame CNN for this? iReport. I remember when it started. iReport, you take your phone and you're a journalist, you know, they were just saying, iReport. And I understand why it started, why it needed to start, and some of the places and some of the things that it had solved, some of the issues that iReporting has solved. And till today in Nigeria, that sometimes that because you're at the right place, the right time, and you have a phone, you're able to capture the story, news, and get help immediately. So we understand the responsibility, we understand the privilege that we have now that we can all broadcast news.
Yeah.
But then we need to understand the responsibility. With every privilege comes a responsibility. Yeah. So I have decided that I would report, but I would make sure that I'm reporting the truth as I see it, without colorization. I have seen people who on social media followed because they would give news. And then when someone gives another fact to show that initial one you put was wrong, instead of accepting, I now see, based on these new facts, I see that I may have been wrong. I don't see that on social media. And so for us consumers, because we see where that is coming from, that the tuition, so their base, their core is not about truth,
biased,
it's not about facts, it's about, you know, how it makes them feel, the followership. We too, as consumers, we should be careful where we get our news from. If you get it from social media, I got this from social media, I don't have all the facts. If you have any more facts, please, or I stand to be corrected, this is what I've gotten so far. And if you have such a huge following, give yourself some credibility, give yourself some respect by making sure that when you post news, and if someone is able to counter you with facts, accept what you have done wrong and move on. This news station that apologized, it shows whatever they lost for broadcasting that fake news, they have sort of redeemed themselves by apologizing, and it can happen for individuals too.
Comments on social media?
Yes. First, Sakin Boyewa says, truth is journalism is in serious danger in Nigeria because the merchants of fake news are fast taking over the noble profession. We have seen mainstream media spread fake news only to retract them. The fake news merchants in our country must be sanctioned.
Some have also argued, go ahead.
I want to take he says true, but that should not be used to justify timidity. I am not saying that the ladies of your view are timid, far from it. The Immaculate Boys, who knows how my weekend went, said life is all about biases. Buhari, Nima, Morayo, CNN were all biased. Biases also include reporting or not reporting. Like today, Nima couldn't tell us what happened in Auchi at the weekend. That's her bias, because he knows exactly what my weekend was like.
Elayi Taylor Harris says, people should be skeptical on news from social media platforms and blogs. Give more attention to outlets that face consequences.
So I think we're going to be wrapping up on this very soon. And I think what's the burden right now is on all the various candidates out there to ensure that they speak to Nigerians and ensure that this whole election is really based on what you can do and the issues concerning Nigerian citizens, so that they can deviate from focusing on news that is not authentic. So it's important that it's clear that all our various candidates come out to speak. We've seen a few town hall meetings that have been called. Some didn't show up, some showed up. we're hoping that there'll be more debates or more town hall meetings across board where we can hear from the candidates. So hopefully when Nigerians hear from their candidates or have more information on the manifesto or their plans, they can look at the objectivity of their various plans and then look at it with an open mind on what they need to do. So you can then vote accordingly. We shouldn't force each other to vote upon who we prefer. Let it be objective and let this be across board. As we wrap up, let me say something.
What I'll just say in conclusion is we are never going to see the world the same way because we're all different people. But at the core of it is we must respect the differences that we all carry. That's the beauty of life. I listen to you. I don't agree with you. I will not vote your candidate, but I will not insult you. I would allow you continue in your own decision, while you should also allow me continue with my own decision. That's why we are all adults before we are allowed to vote.
I remember a governor saying that even his children are not voting for his own party. I mean,
yes.
So in our own homes, we are divided. In our friends, everybody is divided.
But we're not killing each other.
We're not killing each other. You know, we're entitled. And sometimes it makes me feel like, as your view failed, we're almost 10 years next year. And it's like, one of the reasons why this show was set up was to help Nigerians understand that we can be different, but still together. We can be diverse, but still together. So when you still see people saying that, nah, but still think this way, you think, just, is it that we're not getting through to certain people? But at the end of the day, really, it's about Nigerians voting right. Vote who you think can make Nigeria better. And please desist from listening to fake news. And also appeal to media houses to verify or going out to follow the bandwagon in condemning or celebrating any of the candidates.